dear polymer clay enthusiasts, I'm Mihaela from learnpolymerclay.com, and I'm back with more inspiration for your work with polymer clay. I really wanted to prepare a Christmas-inspired project because I love this time of the year. These are the tools and materials that you'll need in order to do Christmas wreath hoop earrings, a pair of hoop earrings. So I'm working with 19 gauge silver color wire. I cut a length which is a little bit longer than the support on which I intend to form the round circle for the hoop earrings, and I'm using a round cutter to make the round shape. I'm checking all the time against the other earring to make sure that I will end up with two earrings that are similar in shape, size and form. But if you don't want to do this, you can simply make a pendant and you'll make your life easier. I'm working with green polymer clay that of course I conditioned. I well conditioned previously. And then I used the same round cutter to cut a unit of polymer clay. I cut it in half, and this is only a way of measuring and making sure that I'm using the same amount of polymer clay for the base of the earring. And I've used the round nose pliers to make loops at the two ends, and then I just connected the loops together to make the loop. So as I said, I'm using green polymer clay to make a base on which I'm going to attach leaves. This is going to be the back of the earring, so I'm taking the trouble to smooth and make a nice finishing on the back. And also I'm using the textured part of the handle of my craft knife to texture a little bit the back of the earring. Next I'm taking small bits of green polymer clay, and I'm using a needle tool to texture a little bit to make a vein design on top of the leaf. So I'm making an indentation in the middle of the leaf and small lines on the sides. Also I'm using my fingers to pinch a little bit the leaf to make it a pointy leaf, but if you want some round or leaves which are not pointy, you can totally skip this part. So as you can see, I'm putting leaves on top, other leaves I'll attach them underneath. So I'm doing my best to have a very organic design, to have leaves that look very organic, so they are not I'm not using a cutter to work with the same amount of polymer clay, so they are, some are larger, some are smaller, and I'm piling them one on top of the other to have kind of a wreath design, half wreath design. I'm taking a glance at the other earring all the time to make sure that my earrings are going to be similar. They are not going to be to look the same, but they have to be somehow similar. So all you have to do, you have to take little bits of polymer clay, roll them into an oval shape, then press them onto your working table and use the part that was pressed against the table, which of course has no fingerprints on it, and impress a leafy pattern on top of it using a toothpick or a needle tool. And you have to be very careful when you attach these leaves to the base. You have to press them slightly into the base to make sure that they are well connected and they are sticking together. You don't need to apply polymer liquid polymer clay, because we are working with raw clay, and raw clay will naturally bond with raw clay. Then I'm using cadmium red polymer clay that I previously conditioned, of course, and I'm using the middle of the palm to roll some round beads. You can say there are hollies, or I don't know, Christmas balls. And then I will attach 3 such red balls on top of the wreath, and I'm making sure that I press them gently into the base. And when you are happy with your design, you can put the polymer clay earring into the oven for 30 minutes at the temperature recommended by the polymer clay manufacturer. Then you have to wait a little bit for the polymer clay to cool down, and then using a transparent ink pen, you'll have to apply ink in the areas where you will want the snow glitter embossing powder to stick. And before applying the embossing powder, make sure to put paper underneath, so that you will be able to collect the excess embossing powder after finishing to decorate your wreath. So I'm I'm putting back the sticky glitter that that was in excess, and then using the heat gun, I'm applying the embossing glitter on the wreath. In case you decide that there are areas where you would want more snow effect, you can apply some more embossing glitter, and then redo the same steps once again. This is the magical ingredient, and this is the ingredient that is giving that is enhancing the Christmas look of the wreath. Then I used the same kind of color silver wire, 19 gauge, to make the earring finding. I straightened the wire. I used my round nose pliers to make a loop, and I will attach this loop to the hook. Then I used my flat nose pliers to make a band, and then I just modeled the shape of the ear wire. I'm sorry, I'm working a little bit off camera. I'm filming myself, so I wasn't aware that this wasn't caught on camera. I'm sorry. I'm trimming off some excess wire, and then I used the round nose pliers to make a little band. I'm straightening the wire, and I'm all the time checking against the first earring and doing my best to have two similar earring findings. And of course, you shouldn't forget about sanding the ear wire, because this part is going into your ear, so you don't want it to hurt your ears. And I opened it sideways, like you would open any jump ring, and attached it to the hoop. Then I thought that I wanted to take a little bit care of the back as well, and I decided to use the same embossing glitter on the back. So you have to think of this when you are making earrings. They will flip back and forth, so you have to have a nice finishing on the back as well, to have really professional, good-looking earrings. So I used the transparent ink pen to apply some ink on the back of the earring, and the same snow glittering embossing powder, and the heat gun, of course, to heat set the embossing glitter. And now you have a beautiful pair of hoop earrings that is excellent for Christmas. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more tutorials that will hopefully help you in your work with polymer clay.